I'm Adriana Brogger, and we are in Modesto this morning as well at 1100 H Street, ready to take your donation for Operation Backpack here in Stanislaus County.
And we have a live look at Livecopter 3 HD. Adriana Brogger is headed to the scene right now.
The chase continued through this residential neighborhood, reaching speeds of up to 60 miles an hour, taking out this chain link fence and stop sign. That's when officers were given the green light to use their patrol car to bring the chase to an end.
And KCRA 3's Adriana Brogger is joining us now in Lodi with the impact that this is having on farmers.
That's right, guys. So corn and hay are two major crops here in San Joaquin County.
Let's go right to KCRA 3's Adriana Brogger. She is live at the scene with details.
That's right, Walt. I can tell you there's a large police presence here in Modesto, both in the air and on the ground.
KCRA 3's Adriana Brogger is live in Modesto with what the rain is like in San Joaquin County.
That's right, Walt. So in the last 20 to 25 minutes, we've seen the rain kind of taper off a little bit. So for people making their way to downtown Modesto right now.
Here live on 99 in Livingston, where there's a problem with erosion, Adriana?
That's right, Adrian. We're out here just outside of Livingston, where what appears to be a sinkhole is affecting northbound 99 just south of Collier Road.
KCRA 3's Adriana Brogger is live in Livingston now with a look at what it's going to take to fix that highway.
That's right. Now, a possible sinkhole has shut down one lane here of northbound Highway 99.
If they close it, I don't know what people will do. It's really the only route people around here take to get to other towns, like Modesto, for example. I think it'll be hard to deal with.
Well, if you're looking for something to do, Del Oso Farms has plenty. And if you're looking for adventure, they've got that too! In Lathrop, Adriana Brogger, KCRA 3 reports.
The city of Stockton has seen a rise in violence this summer. Last week, there was a shooting inside a popular restaurant in the middle of the day. Less than 48 hours later, a 21-year-old man was stabbed to death outside the same area.
Amid the recent crime and violence in the city of Stockton, community and city leaders are getting together and saying they want to find solutions. The next step is to make it happen.
The NAACP is one of several groups who are planning to organize town hall meetings in response to the violence. Michael Hutto works with Peacekeepers, a gang prevention unit funded by the city.
The cuts are making all around is definitely making a big impact in our community. The gang members out there, they're aware of the lack of police out there.
Hutto has been working with 17-year-old Vincent Corona, who has turned his life around and is now on the Stag High baseball team. That's just the kind of work Bobby Bivens, president of Stockton's NAACP, wants to see more of.
That is part of the solution, to provide a place for young people to go, to get engaged in positive activities after school and in the evenings.
Okay. Meanwhile, Mayor Johnson says the city has identified where they need to have patrol officers responding, and that people should know that much of the crime is gang on gang.
I think the average citizen should not be afraid. They should carry on as they usually do, but be aware of where they are.
In Stockton, Adriana Brogger, KCRA 3 reports.
KCRA 3's Adriana Brogger reports now from Stanislaus County.
A lot of growers are getting a little bit nervous because we've gone a little bit too long without rain.
Gary Casari is a Stanislaus County Ag Commissioner. He says the lack of rain has some farmers looking to the skies.
There's kind of an expectation for rain to bring those crops up and mature them. And so the longer we go without the rain, it's going to put those crops behind and perhaps prevent them from getting to the point where they can be harvested at normal production levels.
If you're worried about the orchards, they'll be okay during this dry spell. After all, they're dormant in the winter. But there are some concerns, especially with hay and grain crops.
These crops out here in West Modesto could use some rain. At this point in the season, growers say that these plants should be much taller than what they are. And as you can see, there's a lot more dirt here than there is green.
The hay and grain crops are really waiting for the rain to come. They don't really irrigate this time of the year. They simply rely on the rainfall.
And at this point, the skies aren't offering any clues. It's a waiting game.
That's why we're all getting real nervous right now.
In Stanislaus County, Adriana Brogger, KCRA 3 reports. Del Oso Farms will be expecting about 40,000 people this weekend, and they're glad to say they survived this week's storm.
Surprisingly, we had very little damage. Some areas of the corn have kind of gotten crooked, but none of it's laying flat, and actually the mud is all dried up. So we fared pretty well.
Yeah, everything's great. Actually, the maize with a baby stroller was perfect. It wasn't too muddy. It was nice and soft to walk on, and so far we haven't seen any puddles, so there's been no problem.
But will they have enough pumpkins?
We actually are pumpkin farmers, so we have our fair share of pumpkins, yeah. We won't run out, we promise.
The kids out here definitely know what they're looking for.
Do you like big pumpkins or little pumpkins? What kind of pumpkins do you like?
Big. I think small. Kind of the Cinderella pumpkins, the reddish orange. A big one.
Pony rides, bouncing and jumping, train rides, hay rides, pumpkin blasters, a petting zoo, and soon even a snow mountain. There's plenty here for a fun family outing.
Because, I mean, it's a fun place to hang out with your friends and have fun with your parents and everything.
Well, if you're looking for something to do, Del Oso Farms has plenty. And if you're looking for adventure, they've got that too! In Lathrop, Adriana Brogger, KCRA 3 reports.
Adriana Brogger now with what police did to end that chase.
It all started around 10:30 this morning when officers tried to pull over a blue van that matched the description of a vehicle carjacked at gunpoint yesterday. Police say the driver also matched the description of the carjacker. The van didn't stop and instead led officers on a chase.
The chase continued through this residential neighborhood, reaching speeds of up to 60 miles an hour, taking out this chain link fence and stop sign. That's when officers were given the green light to use their patrol car to bring the chase to an end.
People who live along Bancroft Way describe what they saw.
We came outside because we heard the police chasing him, and then they came from this way and rammed him, and he flew into the house, and then they told him to get out like once or twice, and they just started letting off shots into the car.
Police opened fire on the blue van when it began to roll back towards them. At this point, it's unclear whether the suspect was accelerating or if the car was rolling back on its own. Police haven't identified the suspected carjacker, but family members tell KCRA 3 they believe the victim was their teenage cousin, James Rivera.
My niece at the hospital with him. They thought he was going to make it, but he's not. He didn't make it. He didn't make it.
Rivera's uncle, Edward Smith, has one question for police.
And I would like to ask the officer that shot him, did you really feel that you did your job to your best ability by shooting this child?
The investigation is ongoing, and officers don't know whether or not the suspect was armed, but do say the investigation that led up to this incident did involve a shotgun. In Stockton, Adriana Brogger, KCRA 3 reports.